Hello people, welcome to Cube. My name is Brijesh and we have a very good session coming up on English, and in today's session we would be discussing some questions on vocabulary. So people, you have to understand that I keep on telling this in all my sessions that vocabulary is a very important component of English aptitude test, any aptitude test, because vocabulary directly or indirectly it influences your comprehension. So for example, when I say directly, then how does vocabulary directly influence your comprehension? When you have questions directly from vocabulary in the form of antonyms, synonym, idioms, phrases, all these are direct questions. Sometimes even the fill in the blanks questions are direct vocabulary questions. So vocabulary questions, when they come directly, by knowing the meaning of the word, you can get those questions correct. But vocabulary can also be tested indirectly. For example, if you look at reading comprehension, now in reading comprehension, you have so many words. If you understand the meaning of those words, it becomes very easy for you to get the questions correct. That's why vocabulary directly or indirectly plays a very important role in maximizing your score. So if you're writing CUET, BBA, IP MAT or any other entrance exam, you have to be good with English vocabulary. And what are the ways by which we can improve our vocabulary? Of course, the most common way by which we can improve vocabulary is to solve or to read. People say, let's read the meanings in the dictionary, let's go through word list, go through word lists of this and that, this exam, that exam. All these are the ways by which you can improve your vocabulary. But reading is the best way and the most organic way to improve vocabulary, because when you read things, you also get to know the usage of the word in context. So you know that the word has been used and you know that in this context the word has been used. So these are some of the ways, but I will keep on discussing all these things. And today we have found one way of improving vocabulary, and that is antonyms. Now what do you mean by antonym? Antonym means a word opposite to a given word, not exact opposite, but it is quite different or exact, or I would say remotest word from the given word. So if you look at these words here, it says each question below consists of a word printed in capital letters followed by 5-letter words or phrases. Choose the lettered word or phrase that is most nearly opposite in meaning to the word in capital letters. So you have these words given to you, and the meaning of this word is something, and you have to choose from the 5 words the one that is exact opposite to this word. So let's look at this word fallacy. Now you may not know the exact meaning of the word fallacy, but fallacy sounds like the word false or flawed or something similar. So sometimes the sound of the word can be used to derive its meaning. So fallacy means logically flawed, logically deceptive, not convincing. So fallacy is something on the basis of logic. And if fallacy is something that is flawed on the basis of logic or invalid, unconvincing, then what can be the opposite of this word? The opposite of this word is valid argument. If you look at the word valid, valid basically means logically plausible. Invalid means logically implausible. So fallacy is logically implausible and valid means logically plausible. So the answer for the word fallacy is valid argument. That is the exact opposite of the word fallacy. And fallacy is often associated with logical arguments. We have heard of logical fallacy, something that sounds true but may not be true because there's a flaw in it. So this is the meaning of the word fallacy, and the exact opposite of that is valid argument. Now you should not just leave the other words unnoticed. You also have to look at the other words and what they mean. So personal philosophy is something which you all understand. Imaginative idea is also fair enough. Unconfirmed theory, tentative opinion. Now many of you might not be aware of the meaning of the word tentative. So again, you have to solve the question, but also you have to look at the meaning of those words which you don't understand. Now what is tentative? And you have to understand the meaning of the word tentative and also understand its usage. Now tentative means something which is short-lived, of temporary, not confirmed. That is the right word. So for example, let's say if someone asks you that when are you um, planning to visit this particular place, so you can say that tentatively in the first week of March. So when you say tentatively in the first week of March, it means it is not yet confirmed. For example, CUT exam dates have come, not the date, but the month has come. So the NTA, that is the testing agency or the testing body, has said that the CUT exam next year would be held tentatively in the second week of April or the second half of April. Now, why they have used the word tentatively? The reason they have used the word tentatively is because they are not yet sure about it. And that's why tentatively. When are you getting married? On 6th of March, tentatively. Not yet sure, it might change, not yet confirmed. So when you say that I have a tentative opinion, it means the opinion is basically for a time period, it is not yet confirmed. You will basically make a firm opinion after some time. So anything which is tentative is unconfirmed, uncertain, not sure, temporary. So if you have your college or school exams, you can say that tentatively we have our exams in the first week of October. But if Diwali is little earlier, then it might be postponed after Diwali vacations. So I hope the word tentative is clear to all of you. Learn to frame sentences with your words. If you do that, you would be better able to understand the meaning of that word, and you would be better able to use that word. That's why it's very important that just don't know the meaning. Also learn the usage, both in writing and speaking. And the best way is to frame sentences, right? Now, the second word here in the list is the word divulge. So you can see the word divulge, and you can see that there are 5 options given to you. What is the meaning of the word divulge? And if you know the meaning of the word divulge, you would be able to mark the answer correctly, right? So now I will give you an example as to how the word divulge is used. You divulge something which should not, which is expected to be kept as a secret. So for example, if you share a secret about someone or something, or if you share something which is not expected to be shared publicly, you have divulged. So something that is expected to be kept hidden or kept as a secret, if shared, is known as divulged. So many a time it happens that you divulge certain details about the progress. So for example, India is planning, or India's armed forces or India's army is planning to buy certain weapons from USA, but it is not yet made public, it's top secret. And an official goes out and shares it publicly with someone. So the government would say that some official from the armed forces has divulged the details of our military engagement or military transaction with USA. Divulged the details. So divulge basically means you were not expected to share the details, but still you went ahead and shared it. That's why divulged is the right word here. Correct? So if the word divulge means sharing a secret, the exact opposite is keeping secret. So you might divulge personal details of your clients. So suppose a bank, you are a bank, and customers, they have shared all the information about them with you, and they believe that you would not be sharing it with other party, but you have not done that. You have basically gone ahead and you have shared it with some sort of marketing company or this and that. So the newspaper reporters would write that so and so bank has divulged the details of its customers, or divulge is more appropriate. You can even say share, right? But share is something which you might not do or you might do, it is up to you. But divulge is something which you are expected to keep secret. So that's why please be very, very careful about word usage, because sharing is not the same as divulging. To share means, okay, you are sharing, you share food, you share certain messages, it's all right. But divulge is you're not expected to share. This is the difference. Keep this in mind. So all the words are clear to you. There is no other word which is confusing. Let's go and look at the word boycott. Now the word boycott, we have done this word in our school history books when Indians boycotted British made goods, right? So you boycott people, you boycott things. What do you mean by boycott? Now boycott is to keep someone out. Technically, it means to keep someone or something out. So you can boycott during the pandemic when China uh, when China was involved in skirmishes on the Indian border, then many Indians, they boycotted Chinese phones. So they stopped buying Chinese phones, right? There was a big thing going on. So that is known as boycott. To boycott means to keep something out from a group. So if that is the meaning of the word boycott, then what is the opposite of that? You will be a bit confused because you'll find that all the words are a little unfamiliar. So that doesn't mean that the most unfamiliar word is the right answer. Sometimes we make the mistake of going with the most unfamiliar word. So if you have a list of words, the most unfamiliar, you mark that as the answer. That never works. So you have to go by elimination. Now, what is extort? Extort is a verb. Extortion is a noun. So you will say that these days hospitals, more than treating patients, are involved in extorting money. So extorting money or to extort money is basically the same word. Extorting is the gerund, extort is a verb, extortion is a noun, right? So to extort and boycott, not related at all, no connection, so that is not the right answer. Stipulate, what is stipulate? So in T20 cricket matches, you have to score the runs in the stipulated 20 overs. So what is stipulated? Allotted, right? Allotted. So allot करना is to stipulate. So आपके घर में ऐसा होता है कि भाई महीने की डैडी की सैलरी इतनी आती है, he stipulates some portion of that salary for some kind of expenses, right? So that is stipulating. Now underbid or underwrite. So underwrite is a little difficult word for me to explain. It's a very technical word. Underwrite banks में होता है, जहाँ पे insurance companies में underwriting होती है. To underwrite means to basically acknowledge the risk. तो इंश्योरेंस कंपनीज क्या करती हैं कि भाई ठीक है, दे गो थ्रू योर प्रोफाइल एंड दे असेस द रिस्क and then the underwriter says that okay, this is the risk involved with this patient. So underwriting basically means to underwrite basically means to assess the risk of something. That is what it means. So it is not used in common speaking and writing. I mean, it's not used, so you don't know the meaning of it, but it is used technically in accounts and insurance companies. That also is not connected with boycott. And if you look at all the other words, underwrite, underbid, what is bidding? Bidding is basically to quote a price for something. So underbid basically means you have quoted a price well below what should have been the price, right? So bidding happens and you bid, and you if the bid is in the fair range, then you get the contract, otherwise you don't get the contract. So all these words go out. Finally, you are left with just one word, and that is the word patronize. Now you have to know the meaning of the word patronize or how the word is connected to the word boycott. Now I will give you a nice list of words which are connected with the word patronize. Patron comes from the word paternal. Paternal basically means father, from the father's side. So you often say that he is my paternal uncle or he is my maternal uncle. So if he is maternal, he is your mama from the mother side. I mean, he has come from the mother side. Mother's brother is your maternal uncle, and father's brother is your paternal uncle. So paternal means connected to the father. So similarly, you have the word patron. So from the word paternal, you have the word patron. Who is your patron? The one who supports you. In the good old days, the artists did not have social media or production houses or the movie industry to support them. So they had patrons. The kings were the patrons of these artists. How they were patrons? The artists got support from the kings. So they went and played music for the kings. They were there in the king's darbar and they performed there all the while. So the king basically supported them. So when you have a patron, you have a supporter. Many companies, they don't call their customers as customers. They call them patrons. So because I go and buy something from this shop, the shop tells me that you are our patron. Why? Because it is my buying that supports the shop. Are you getting my point? So patron becomes a supporter. So patronize is to support. So boycott is to not support, to exclude, to throw out. To patronize is to support, to include, to groom, to rear, all those things. So the exact opposite of the word boycott is the word patronize, and that is how they are connected. So always try to understand that it is difficult to sometimes to immediately spot the opposite word or the meaning of something. But if you try to break the word into bits and pieces or try to find some sort of connection, then you might be able to arrive at a meaning. Approximate meaning may not be the exact meaning. Adulteration. What is adulterate? Now, adulteration is basically mixing of impurities. So, adulterated milk, adulterated ghee, adulterated honey, lots of impurities, and that's why the exact opposite of this becomes what? Purification. If you look at this word here, the exact opposite of the word adulteration is purification. To adulterate means to mix with impurities, and to purify means to remove the impurities, right? But there are some other words in the list of which you may not be aware. So approximation means what? To approximate something. So you know the meaning of the word. Normalization. What is normalize? So normalization happens particularly with statistics. For example, if CUET is conducted in slot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for so many days, different people have different questions, then how are you going to compare them? If I and you have the same set of paper, then we might be able to compare. But if my paper is different from yours, then how are we going to compare? So there is a process called as normalization, in the sense that how are you going to compare two things which are slightly in a different grade. So normalization is a process in which you bring together statistically things which are slightly different. I mean, that is how it is used, but I hope you know understand the word. Purification, normalization, approximation. Now the word rejuvenation is very important. If you look at the word rejuvenation here, you have to focus on the word Juven, juven. Now I always use the word juven in the sense jawan. Jawan means young. So you have heard of juvenile crime rate. What is juvenile crime rate? Juvenile crime is crimes committed by minor. So if you are below 18 and you commit crime, then your crime will come in the category of juvenile crime. Why do the crimes that are committed by people below 18 years of age is called juvenile? Because as per the law, they are not yet above 18 and therefore not adults as yet. They are treated as minors. And because they are minor, they are considered too young. So when you have the word juven, it means too young. So when you have rejuvenation, that basically means someone has made you young again, right? After the day's hard work, you are tired and you want to take rest. You would do something, you would go for swimming, you will take a hot bath, a warm bath with warm water or hot water, whatever, or you would have a cup of coffee, or you would watch a movie, or you will go to the gym and and go to the gym or do something. So all these activities, they rejuvenate you. Rejuvenate basically means to make you feel young again. So rejuvenation का मतलब क्या होता है? फिर से young feel करना. Re मतलब फिर से, और juven basically means young. So rejuvenation, rejuvenate, that is how the word is used. I hope this is clear to everyone. So word consternation basically means annoyance, surprise with annoyance. मतलब किसी का behavior आपने देखा और आपको बड़ा ही surprising plus annoying लगा, तो इसको बोलते हैं consternation. It sometimes, not all, but sometimes words, if you break them into bits and pieces and you know the root of that word, it would be easy for you to guess the meaning of that word. It happens in many cases. तो उससे क्या होगा, जो ऑप्शंस दिए गए उसको आप ठीक से समझ करके आंसर मार्क कर सकते हैं. So even if you don't know the exact meaning of the word, by using the options you can actually mark the meaning of that word, right? Let's take the fifth word now. Deposition. What do you mean by depose? So अगर आप इस word को देखेंगे, there is a word deposit. What is deposit? Deposit होते जा रहा है ना, जैसे कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल दांतों में आपके काला पड़ना. सो प्लेक इकट्ठा होता है, तो इकट्ठा हुआ और हुआ और हुआ, इकट्ठे होते चले जाता है. तो इट इज डिपॉजिटिंग लेयर अपॉन लेयर. इट हैपेंस with layer of dirt or mud or something. It keeps upon coming layer upon layer. So agar deposition is basically depositing, then what is the opposite of that? Of course eroding, right? So deposit मतलब एक के ऊपर एक इकट्ठा होना. erode का मतलब क्या होता है? एक एक layer निकलते चले जाना. So deposit is accumulation, erosion is removal. That's how it is. So you know rock is it's you have a piece of rock and you keep it in the outside for let's say hundreds of years, so निकलते 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 पूरा खत्म हो जाएगा, erosion हो गया. So the process of eroding becomes the right answer. Now if you know the meaning of the other words, condense का मतलब क्या होता है? अभी condense अगर आपको नहीं पता तो density का मतलब क्या होता है? What is dense? Dense मतलब घना, है ना, घना, डेंसिटी नहीं होती है. तो कंडेंस का मतलब क्या होगा? घना होते चले जाना. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल आपको बताता हूं मैं, वाटर है तो वाटर पानी है एकदम पूरी तरह से, आप उसको ठंडा करो तो जो ठंडा करोगे तो धीरे धीरे करके इन द नेचुरल एनवायरनमेंट वो कंडेंस होने लगता है, वो धीरे धीरे करके सॉलिडिफाई हो रहा है, तो धीरे धीरे करके उसकी डेंसिटी बढ़ती जा रही है. So to condense basically means to become more dense, and that's why condensing means a liquid becoming a solid gradually. That is known as the word condensing. कंजील का मतलब एक साथ चिपक के इकट्ठा हो जाना, सेमी सॉलिड स्टेट में रहता है वो. इरोडिंग, इवॉल्विंग. मेनी ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स डोंट नो द मीनिंग ऑफ द वर्ड इवॉल्व. इवॉल्व का मतलब क्या होता है? देखो, जब कोई चीज इवॉल्व होती है ना तो बेहतरी के लिए होती है. ऑलवेज अंडरस्टैंड, व्हेन यू इवॉल्व that means you are suggesting that you have become better. So I started my career as a fast bowler without any kind of variety in my bowling. But gradually I have evolved. So जो आपने कहा gradually I have evolved, it means you have become better than what you were before. I have evolved as a bowler, as a human being, as an actor. That means you have basically bettered yourself, improved yourself. इसलिए हम बोलते हैं evolution. Why evolution? Because if you look at your own self, millions of years ago you were some other kind of a creature who had tails. Your ancestors of course were creatures who had tail and who had a different shape of the brain, but because of nature you have become better and better, and now you have become perfect. And in the coming years the smartphone that you use will evolve further and might become even more sophisticated, right? So evolve का मतलब होता है better हो जाना. I mean, और इसका exact opposite of the word evolve is devolve. Evolution, devolution. So evolution is improvement for the better. Devolution is basically degradation. इसलिए devolution of powers भी होता है. Why devolution? नीचे की तरफ जाना. इसलिए डिवोल्यूशन का एक मतलब होता है डीजेनरेट हो जाना, खराब हो जाना. एक मतलब होता है नीचे की तरफ आना. सो इफ यू लुक एट पावर, द प्राइम मिनिस्टर हैज पावर्स, राइट? बट कैन द प्राइम मिनिस्टर कंट्रोल द एंटायर कंट्री बाय सिटिंग इन दिल्ली? नो. सो देयर इज डिवोल्यूशन ऑफ पावर्स, कि पावर जो है वो धीरे धीरे करके नीचे की तरफ देते चले जाओ ताकि नीचे से काम हो और ऊपर ऊपर आता, मतलब the main decisions should be taken by the topmost people, but there should be some power given to the bottom people as well. Devolution, coming down, that is the other meaning of it. So please keep in mind, condensing, evolving, eroding, distill, you know what is distilling, right? It's a process. Enervate. Now if you look at the word enervate, it means tired, थक जाना. पूरा दिन आपने पढ़ाई की, पूरा दिन काम किया, शाम को आके एकदम थक गए, सर दर्द हो रहा है, तो enervated. I was enervated, I was tired. That's the meaning of it, right? तो enervate का exact opposite क्या होगा? If enervate is getting tired, then the exact opposite is strengthen. To strengthen, to become, to gain strength, to gain, something like that. So strengthen, gather. What is renovate? Renovate is to basically improve upon something. Resurrect. Now it's a very interesting word. Resurrect means to bring back to life. Now I will give you an example. If you have read the Bible, अगर आप किसी कॉन्वेंट स्कूल से हैं तो आप देखते होंगे कि गुड फ्राइडे की छुट्टी होती है. गुड फ्राइडे के दिन क्या हुआ था? जीसस was crucified and on the third day he came back to life. उसको बोलते हैं resurrection. So ईस्टर संडे को we celebrate ईस्टर संडे, right? Because resurrect का मतलब होता है bring back to life. तो कोई चीज जो मर चुकी है, जो लोग भूल चुके हैं, उसको आप resurrect करते हो. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल है कि भाई आजकल आपको ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट मूवीज दिखने में नहीं आती, राइट? एवरीथिंग इज इन कलर. बट सपोज किसी डायरेक्टर ने ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट मूवी बना दी, तो लोग क्या बोलेंगे? दिस डायरेक्टर इज ट्राइंग टू रेजरेक्ट द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट. Why do I use the word resurrect the concept of black and white? Because black and white photo, black and white movies एक जमाने में होती थी, अब नहीं होती है वो. That day has gone, dead. But now someone is bringing it back to life. अब लाइफ का मतलब ये नहीं कि वो जिंदा हो गया, ब्रिंगिंग इट बैक टू लाइफ का मतलब क्या है, फिर से वो चीज आ रही है। तो आप क्या बोलोगे उसको, ही इज ट्राइंग टू रेजरेक्ट और bring back to life something which was dead long time back. Resurrect is a verb form and resurrection is a noun. Noun और verb में फर्क ये होता है कि noun के आगे, noun के पहले द लग जाएगा, the resurrection, and verb के पहले to लग जाता है, right? So to resurrect, to renovate, together, to strengthen, right? Recuperate. What is recuperate? Recuperate basically means to recover. So I will give an example here. You are sick and you are ailing, and ailing not because of some minor small illness. उसको हम recuperate नहीं कर, recuperate तब होता है जब बंदा एक ऐसे illness से जूझ रहा है जो बहुत टाइम लगता है रिकवर होने में. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल आप फ्रंट पे गए, वहां पर यू आर इन्वॉल्व विद द एनिमी ऑन द बॉर्डर, और आपको चोट लगी, घायल हुए आप बुरी तरह से, यू विल कम बैक होम, यू विल अंडरगो सर्जरी एंड देन यू विल रेक्यूपरेट बिकॉज यू विल टेक अ लॉन्ग टाइम टू रिकवर. अपने कोविड में हुआ था लास्ट ईयर. मेनी पीपल who did not have the immunity and were very weak, they took months to recover from the COVID this, right? So recuperate means taking or recovering from illness by taking a long time, right? That is the meaning of the word. So let's take the word loquacious, and this would be the last word because we have limited time, half an hour. So loquacious is the last word, and then from in the next session we'll continue from the other words where we have left. Loquacious का मतलब देखो, the word loqua is very important. लोक्वा का मतलब होता है स्पीच, इसलिए एक वर्ड है इलोक्वेंट. इफ यू नो द मीनिंग ऑफ द वर्ड इलोक्वेंट, इनफैक्ट आपके स्कूल में एलोक्यूशन कंपटीशन हुआ होगा. व्हाट इज एलोक्यूशन कंपटीशन? अ कंपटीशन इन विच यू विन प्राइजेस बिकॉज यू मेड अ ब्यूटिफुल स्पीच. तो एलोक्यूशन, इलोक्वेंट. इनफैक्ट द वर्ड इलोक्वेंट का मतलब होता है बहुत अच्छा बोलने वाला. ई प्लस LOQUENT, ई प्लस LOQUENT, तो इलोक्वेंट हो गया. अब इलोक्वेंट कौन होता है? जो बहुत बढ़िया बढ़िया इंप्रेसिव स्पीकर. इंप्रेसिव स्पीकर होता है इलोक्वेंट. कुछ ज्यादा ही इंप्रेसिव होते हैं, बड़ी बड़ी बातें करने वाले, उनको बोलते हैं ग्रैंड इलोक्वेंट. ग्रैंड मतलब क्या होता है? बहुत बड़ा. भाई अच्छी स्पीच देना सही है, बट ऐसी स्पीच तो कि किसी को समझ में ही ना आए, क्या फायदा? तो कई बार क्या होता है ना, का स्पीच अच्छे से देना इज गुड, बट स्पीच देना इंप्रेस करने के लिए, बड़ी बड़ी बातें सुनाने के लिए, दैट इज ग्रैंडिलोक्वेंट. अनएक्सेप्टेबल, बहुत ही शोई लगता है. तो eloquent is a very positive word, is used very positively, whereas grandiloquent is used in a negative sense कि आदमी बड़ी बड़ी बातें कर रहा है, इंप्रेस करने की बड़ी कोशिश कर रहा है. eloquent पॉजिटिव, grandiloquent नेगेटिव. दोनों में आप लैंग्वेज का अच्छा यूज करते हो, लेकिन eloquent में आप जैसा करना चाहिए वैसा करते हो, grandiloquent में आप इंप्रेस करने के लिए कर रहे हो, दिखाने के लिए. दैट्स व्हाई इट इज स्लाइटली नेगेटिव. तो अगर लोक्वा मतलब स्पीच होता है, तो लोक्वेशियस क्या हो जाएगा? बहुत बोलने वाला, बातें ही करता रहता है. अरे भैया रुकता ही नहीं है. आप ट्रेन में सफर कर रहे थे, नीचे दो लेडीज बैठी हैं, इतनी बातें कर रही कि आपको सोने में दिक्कत हो रही, तो आप क्या बोलोगे अपने पापा मम्मी को? आई वॉज कमिंग फ्रॉम पटना टू वाराणसी, और द लेडीज, they were, the loquacious ladies kept on talking. The loquacious ladies kept on talking. Loquacious means keep on speaking continuously, non-stop. That is what the meaning of the loquacious is. So if someone speaks continuously, what is the opposite of that? Not tranquil. Tranquil का मतलब होता है शांत, आप जहां पे नॉइज नहीं है, उसका मतलब होता है taciturn. Loquacious is a quality of a human being. ठीक है? So I will just this thing has gone here. So loquacious is the quality of a human being. ठीक है? Similarly, taciturn is also the quality of a human being. Tacit का मतलब क्या है? चुप रहना, बोलना नहीं. तो loquacious to speak, taciturn to not speak. Opposite. Tranquil मतलब peaceful, silent, noise नहीं है. आप बातें कर सकते हो लोगों से. जैसे आप सीशोर पे गए, या आप किसी पहाड़ पे गए, हिल स्टेशन पे गए, आवाज नहीं है, मोटर गाड़ी की आवाज नहीं है, लोगों की आवाज नहीं है, आप आपस में बातें कर रहे हैं, तो वहां पे ट्रैंक्विल एनवायरनमेंट, ट्रैंक्विल एटमॉस्फेयर, पीसफुल. यू गो टू चर्च, यू गो टू मॉस्क, टेम्पल, जहां पे बहुत भीड़ नहीं है, कोई नहीं है, यू फील ट्रैंक्विलिटी, पीस ऑफ माइंड. ट्रैंक्विलिटी मीन्स पीस विदाउट नॉइज, राइट? Taciturn means not willing to speak. Loquacious means speaking too much, एग्जैक्ट ऑपोजिट, ठीक है। स्केप्टिकल का मतलब क्या होता है? डाउट, हमेशा डाउट करना। साइंटिस्ट कैसे होते हैं? हर बात पे डाउट करते हैं, until and unless they see convincing proof of something. That's why उसका opposite skeptical is different from all the other words. Witty, witty का मतलब होता है हाजिर जवाबी, ह्यूमर के साथ, चमकाने वाली बात जवाब देना, हंसा देगा आपको, that is witty. Morose का मतलब बीमार, डिप्रेसिव, that is what the meaning of the word more. बीमार दिमाग से, शरीर से बीमार नहीं है वो. So morose का मतलब क्या होगा कि looking depressive, dejected, disappointed. इंडिया पाकिस्तान का मैच हुआ और आपको मतलब बड़ा ही ये था कि भाई क्रिकेट फैन तो हूं मैं, मतलब जान दे दूंगा क्रिकेट के लिए. इंडिया लूजेस टू पाकिस्तान इन द फाइनल्स, यू बिकम मोरोज, ठीक है. दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ द वर्ड. सो आई होप यू लाइक्ड हाफ एन आवर सेशन वी हैड, एंड आई होप यू लाइक्ड ऑल दीज वर्ड्स. ट्राई टू कनेक्ट वर्ड विथ इमोशन, वर्ड्स विथ सेंटेंसेस, वर्ड विथ सिनेरियोज, तो आपको वर्ड हमेशा याद रहेंगे. खाली मेमोराइज करोगे तो आज याद होगा, कल आप पक्का भूल जाओगे. दैट इज नॉट द राइट वे. Thanks a lot, people. I hope you enjoyed this session. Do go through these words again and again. Keep on listening to them, and you will know how to use them in the longer run. Thank you.